6.02 Spanish and Portuguese Empires. This goes along with your Human Odyssey reading pages 250 to 261 and your student guide pages 159 to 160. Lesson Introduction: Spanish and Portuguese Empires. After conquering the Americas, the Spanish and Portuguese established rigid systems for governing their new colonies. They established colonies to provide Europe with the wealth of the Americas, not only sugar and other crops, but gold and silver. This happened at a great cost. Native peoples died of exhaustion, starvation, and European diseases against which they had no immunity. Only a few Spaniards, mostly priests and friars, like Bartolomeu de la Casa, spoke out against the mistreatment of the Indians. Lesson Objectives. Many of these objectives are covered in detail in the readings from your Human Odyssey book, pages 250 to 261. Define peninsular, Creole, and Mestizo, and describe their places in the social structure of the colonies. Describe the lives of the native people under the encomienda system. Describe the system for governing the Spanish colonies. Explain why friars and Jesuits went to the colonies and describe the methods they used to achieve their goals. Explain why the native population declined so rapidly and describe how the Spanish government responded to the decline. Give examples of goods that Europeans wanted from the Americas, and recognize that many missionaries like La Casa protested their government about the treatment of the Indians. Europeans wanted many products from the Americas, besides silver and gold. Some of those are indigo, cochineal, animal hides, cocoa beans, and sugarcane. Viceroys and class structure. To make sure the products kept flowing to Europe, the Spanish king appointed governors known as viceroys, which means in place of the king. In the rigid class structure of the colonies, native-born Spaniards who held all important positions in government were known as peninsulares or peninsulares. Those of Spanish descent born in the colonies were called Creoles. Poor colonists of mixed race, Spanish and Indian, were called mestizo, and at the bottom of the social structure were the Indians or native peoples who were poor and did most of the work. Encomienda system. Under the encomienda system, the native peoples worked on the land or underground in the mines, digging for gold and silver. A brief account of the destruction of the Indies. Bartolomeu de la Casa wrote an account of the mistreatment of the native peoples called A Brief Account of the Destruction of the Indies. Terrible conditions. Many Indians died from hunger, exhaustion, or beatings, but most died from diseases, in particular smallpox, which was brought by the Europeans against which they had no immunities. Catholic friars. The Catholic friars went to the colonies to convert the native peoples to Catholicism. The friars learned the local languages so they could communicate better with the native peoples. The friars also studied traditional Indian beliefs and then used those similarities to help explain Christian ideas. And here we've come to the end of our flip video lesson. Life is divided into three terms: that which was, which is, and which will be. Let us learn from the past to profit by the present, and from the present to live better in the future. Thank you for joining me today.